there's just so much. There's just looking back now, I am very grateful for the past because, like I said, they have been major learning experiences for me, and
Mhm.
um, now I feel more like an adult now. I'm 27, and sometimes I still feel like I'm 17, but no, like I have. We're talking about this. I'm reflecting and just
Yeah.
seeing like my growth,
That's
and
what
to
that's what it boils down to your point.
oh my gosh, absolutely. Like to have someone commit to me like that, like you dream about this like as a girl, like I was young and I used to picture like, getting married and who's going to be my person. And of course, like don't get me wrong, like my journey up until finding him hasn't always been that pretty. And I know we kind
Sure.
of touched on like past relationships, and as much as
Mhm.
I said like I had good models like my parents, I feel like we all go through this point where we think we know everything, and we're just like we know the world, and that was what my parents tried to teach me, but we have to go through our own learning phase.
Yes.
So I think I also learned a lot in my I had two like past relationships before Tim. And in those relationships I learned, yes, there was heartache, but who could have imagined that I'd be at this point where I found my person, and
Mhm.
they were it was a learning curve, because one of them I don't even know if we should consider like a real thing, because this was like starting late middle school into early high school where I thought I
Okay.
just knew it all, and you're just like I know everything, right? And my mom and daddy told me you can't have a boyfriend until you're 18, and of course I didn't listen. But
Mhm.
they had their reasons. Now looking back, like, oh, like I get it now. Like this guy was just not ready for a commitment, a
Of
relationship.
course.
So I can't say that the journey up until now has been perfect, because it hasn't. I've been cheated on. I've been with someone who was very became very like toxic and manipulative and just
Mm.
very controlling and jealous. Um so in that, like, I did know that was wrong at the time. Don't get me wrong. I can't say that I was ever like, this is okay. This is just normal. This is what happens. Like I knew like this something's up. But when I say manipulative, I mean that this person, touched on my took advantage, I guess, of my compassion and my kindness, because there was always some
Okay.
story for me to stay around, and sure enough I would, like,
Yeah.
and so I finally reached a breaking point. Something happened and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And the fact that I didn't feel any emotions, I actually felt like joy. I was like, because like 3 months prior to that, I was already kind of out of it, in a
Yeah.
sense. Like, I was just sticking around because of what I said. He was playing on my kindness and my compassion. And anyways, that all, with that all being said, what I mean to say is it's I've learned a lot in those two
Mm.
relationships too. I've learned what I don't want, and I learn what
Facts.
right, what you don't want, what a true partner is,
Yeah.
you know, someone who just doesn't question you right off the bat. You guys have this trust unless there's a reason for the trust to be broken. Like we've had trust all throughout.
Mhm.
There's just so much I've learned. What I don't want, but then being with someone who has just been amazing. I can't say nobody's perfect, but I want to say he's very close. Like when you find that person that just loves you for everything that you are, even in the moments that you're not
Yeah.
at your best, someone that, and he gives me like those words of affirmation, which is something I think I really I value. It's not just you're beautiful. It's like I love you for your heart. I love you because I see how you care about people, and I see how
Mhm.
everyone around you is towards you and how much love you have. Like there's just so much. There's just looking back now, I am very grateful for the past because, like I said, they have been major learning experiences for me, and
Mhm.
um now I feel more like an adult now. I'm 27, and sometimes I still feel like I'm 17, but no, like I have. We're talking about this. I'm reflecting and just
Yeah.
seeing like my growth,
That's
and
what
to
that's what it boils down to your point.
yeah. Yeah, and I think the number one thing is that we make each other better, and that's something Tim always told me, like, I wanna make sure I surround myself with people that make me better, and to know
Mm.
that he found that in me. Because what's funny is Tim used to tell me he didn't really believe in marriage. Like, he really wasn't all like, he didn't have that in mind, like, getting married, you know what I mean? And so
It's different for us.
yeah, oh, yeah, I'm sure it
Different.
is, I learned, you know?
By the way, just before I continue, just so I can have a reference point, how old is Tim?
He's gonna be 27 this March, so I'm
Okay.
3 months older, yeah.
Okay. 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 Please continue.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So it was just being with someone that makes you better, I think is like number one. And that's something I very much value. And someone who again has similar values. Like I said, faith is a big part of my life. And
Mhm.
he also has like this faith in God. So and it doesn't have to be that. Of course, every relationship is different, but find what's important to you and what matters the
Mhm.
most and try to find that in your person, and
Absolutely.
there's just so much. Like I'm really enjoying this conversation because I've of course talked about Tim and how great he is, but I've never had this platform to just like share like exactly what our relationship has been and how much we have learned from each other, how much we've grown together. And that's why 7 years is a long time. People can say, no, he should know like after 1 year, after 2 years that he wants to marry
Mm.
you. Like, no, we've come a long way. He used to not believe in it. And then like within like 2 years, it's like there was a shift. And
Yeah.
you just it all boils down to finding that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And even if it's, I mean, I would hope that everyone would find that commitment to marriage. Some people may not want that, but just to
Sure,
find
sure.
that person that just, loves you wholeheartedly for everything that you are, makes you better, works through the issues with you.
Mhm.
Something else for me is like goals. Like I've always had set goals for myself, and I found someone who also has set goals for himself and helps me, encourages me, and helps me reach those goals.
Absolutely.